We know that investments in women have a very positive correlation with poverty alleviation and the prosperity of countries. Moreover, today there is a broad recognition that Millennium Development Goal 3, the one that is based on gender equality and the empowerment of women, is the linchpin for the achievement of all the other MDGs, whether they have to do with health, with poverty alleviation, with the environment. Women's equality and women's empowerment is absolutely essential, because it is a simple fact that no country can get ahead if it leaves half of its people behind. And as Secretary Clinton often says, women and girls are one of the world's greatest untapped resources, and investing in them is one of the most powerful forces for international development. This is why the United States has placed women's issues at the center of our diplomatic and development agenda. And it is why I want to talk to you this morning, briefly, about a few of the high-yield investments. Let's call them a care package. Tools for women's empowerment. First and most importantly, as Helene just said, investing in the education of girls. We know that it is the single most effective development investment that can be made, and it is a key driver for economic growth and social progress. The positive consequences of investing in a girl's education mean delayed marriage and childbirth, healthier pregnancies and families. Children of educated mothers are more likely to survive, more likely to have adequate nutrition for her family, more likely to attend school themselves. Girls' education boosts incomes later in life. An extra year of primary school increases girls' future wages by an estimated 10 to 20%. And an extra year of secondary education increases it by 15 to 25%. So it is a high-yield investment with tremendous dividends, no matter how you analyze it. Today, thanks to work like yours here at CARE, almost 2/3 of the developing countries have met the goal of eliminating gender disparity in primary education. However, there are considerable gaps, particularly for girls. For example, in Yemen, nearly 80% of the girls who are out of school are ever likely to enroll, compared to 36% for boys. And child marriage is an enormous problem, and I salute you for the extraordinary work CARE is doing to deal with this entrenched practice. I notice that it is one of the myths, myth number 7, that girls belong in marriage and not school. And we know that is truly a myth. When I was in Yemen just a few weeks ago with Secretary Clinton, we met with a little girl whom we've come to know, and she is in your Mythbusters pamphlet, Najud. Najud was all of about 9 years old when her father married her off. She was married off to a man about the age of her grandfather. Her time with him was horrible. He was physically abusive, and it was absolutely intolerable. She somehow, and I've come to know her as a very spunky young girl, she got her courage up, managed to find bus fare from her aunt, got herself to the courthouse. And when she got to the courthouse, she was lost in a sea of people towering over her. And finally, a lawyer, female lawyer, came up to her and said, "Why are you here, child?" And Najut said, "I want a divorce." And this lawyer, who is one of the extraordinary women leader advocates in Yemen, took her case and took the case of other girls in Yemen. She won that case, and Najut is now in school, back in school where she belongs. They have been debating whether to raise the age of marriage in Yemen, and one of the consequences of the international attention Najut's case got was to contribute to that discussion. They haven't succeeded yet, but it is important that they not only do that, but it is also important that the work of care, the kind of work that you do at the grassroots level in Yemen and so many other places, to bring about that change in mindset, to provide incentives to girls so that they won't be married off when they're still children. So child marriage is not only a barrier that inhibits access to primary and secondary education. It's not the only barrier, it's a significant one. But there are so many other concerns that keep girls from going to school. Their safety, their transport, proper hygiene, and so much more. Many of the things that CARE is working on and for which we all need to applaud you and hope that we can all continue going together in this way.